Greetings, one and all, and welcome to the Chronic Rift. I'm Keith DeCandido.
And I'm Andrea Lipinski.
If you fancy yourself a writer and have a science fiction or fantasy manuscript just waiting to be published, we're going to give you a sort of a shove in the right direction.
Tonight we're going to be talking to several experts in the literary field who can help you get your work off the mantelpiece and into a publisher's hands.
And finally, are you a Clint Eastwood fan? In a rare move, both MGM and Warner have announced a combined promotional re-release of all of Clint Eastwood's films. This covers 24 different film titles. I'm the Man in Black, and this has been the Video Report.
Comic in Review is Drawn in Quarterly, anthology comic published by the Canadian publisher of the same name. They also published Dirty Plot by Julie Doucet and will be publishing such books as Chester Brown's Yummy Fur in the future. Tonight are an editor and an agent to give us an idea of how you go about doing that. On my left is the editor, Ellen Datlow, the fiction editor at Omni, and who has edited a number of anthology books. And on the other side of Andrea is the agent, Laurie Perkins, who has represented a number of horror writers as well as some SF writers, some comics writers, and any number of other people.
The first paragraph and the first page are very important. If I'm not interested in a story within a page or two, I'm probably going to stop reading. Or maybe I'll skip to the end and see what happens. And see if my expectations meet what I thought was going to happen. You really have to grab the reader. And by grabbing the reader, I don't mean you have to have an explosion in the first paragraph, but you've got to either make something happen that's interesting, have an interesting character, or have good writing. But you can't go on just with description, with writing. You have to have something, a plot movement within a few pages.
How would an ordinary writer go about getting a literary agent? Because I know someone who has an agent, and I asked him, oh, how do you get an agent? It all seems to be very mysterious. Oh, well, it's who you know. It's all connections.
No, actually, it's a lot of what you know. You should join a genre organization if you write in a genre, Science Fiction Writers of America or Horror Writers of America. They will give you a list of recommended agents, 6 or 8, and you should contact them and ask them if they are taking on new clients. If they are, send them usually the first 3 chapters and an outline of your book. You should always call first, because sometimes an agent is no longer taking on new authors.
Or maybe out of business.
Maybe out of business. And you can just send your manuscript into a void and wait 5 months, 6 months, 5 years, not knowing why you haven't heard
Next week is a very special show we're doing. We are doing an all-interview show. And we're going to have 3 people. Yes, Tom Dish, author of The MD, and Hildebrandt, who's a well-known fantasy artist, and the new editor of Piranha Press, a comics publisher, Andrew Helfer. And we will do that next week.
Yes, we will.
And we'll see you then.
Good night.
Good night.
Sponsored in part by Comics Interview, the magazine where both the fans and the pros turn to see who's who and how it's done. For a free sample copy, a special discount on any Comics Interview publication, write to Comics Interview, 234 Fifth Avenue, Suite 301, New York, New York, 10001. Tor Books, a publisher of fantasy and science fiction books available at your local bookstore, including the currently available Days of Atonement by Walter John Williams and the soon-to-be-released Xenocide by Orson Scott Card, on sale in August. Omega Zone, a store specializing in comic books and video movie rentals, located at 46 8th Avenue between West 4th and Horatio in Manhattan. Telephone 212-645-6941. Baen Books, publishers of Larry Niven's Man Kazin Wars, Lois McMaster Bujold, Elizabeth Moon and Anne McCaffrey, Jerry Purnell and S.M. Sterling, and other writers of quality fun science fiction. Writing science fiction and fantasy from the editors of Analog and Isaac Asimov's Science Fiction magazine. Learn the inside tips and trade secrets of today's foremost professionals, including Isaac Asimov, Robert A. Heinlein, and Connie Willis. Order yours today and save over 25% off the cover price. Call 1-800-338-7531 to order by credit card.